Okay, so today we're going to start talking about how to do translations of graphs, but with their equations. So the last time in class we talked about mappings and how to change just the points, but now we're going to start looking at how the equations change. So our first graph here is our normal y equals x squared. So it has its vertex and minimum at the point 0, 0. So we are going to see what happens as we change the equation of y equals x squared and where that point 0, 0 gets moved to see if we can figure out the pattern. Okay, so our next equation then is going to be y equals, well, we'll leave it out. We'll have y equals x plus 1 all squared. So when x plus 1 is now inside the square, we go from having the point 0, 0 to having the point negative 1, 0. So even though we added 1 to the x on the inside, it then shifted to the left 1. Okay, so now let's look at a different one. So our third graph now is y equals x squared plus 1. So when we did a plus 1 on the outside of the x squared, our vertex went from the point 0, 0 to the point 0, 1. So it moved up 1. So using that, we're going to try and make predictions now based on what happens as I change this different value. So our new equation here is x minus h all squared. So right now the h value that you can see in line 5 is set to 0. So it's directly on top of y equals x squared. So let's see what happens as I drag h to the right and I make it positive. Well, let's go like here. We'll try and get it directly on the 6. There we go. Okay. So now our equation is y equals quantity of x minus 6 all squared. And what was x minus 6? It moved to the right 6 points. So let's see what happens if it becomes a negative number. So if we're subtracting, so now if we do like x minus negative 5, so that would become x plus 5 all in that quantity, the point moved to negative 5, 0. So it instead moved to the left. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we have a number that's being added on the outside. So again, if the k value is set at 0, our vertex point is still at 0, 0. And then as we move k, so as k becomes positive, the parabola moves up to 6. And then if we make the k negative, it moves down. Make sure you guys can see it. So down to negative 3. So using that, try and fill in the rest of your worksheet and make any predictions you can about the rest of those graphs.